Evan here from iMedia, and today I want to talk to you guys about funding and building your business. So every business or every business venture kind of requires some level of capital to get started. My business required, you know, something to record a podcast on and internet connection. If I use my phone, then it's just the device I already have, or the $150 I paid for it, and then Wi-Fi, and then internet connection, and that's how I would record my High Soapbox podcast way early in the day. But there's now, you don't need to go to banks anymore, venture capitalists. There's plenty of really cool, interesting ways to fund businesses. You can go through Kickstarter. You can create a cryptocurrency and use it, and use the coins created by that blockchain to be tokens used for your services. You can you can do a Patreon. If people believe in what you're doing, they're willing to pay monthly. That's something else you could do. I actually wanted to share a new type of funding that I think it might be considered by some to be unpopular, but I think is like fairly interesting and compelling. So, to be clear, I was scrolling through Facebook, like just doing as you do, and then I came across an ad. It says, "Welcome to a PC gamer's first-person galaxy. In this game, enjoy a bunch of sci-fi gobbledygook." And it says, "Support our development by purchasing alpha plus beta access and start playing." Well, I decided to watch the video a little bit, and it looked relatively, relatively compelling. It's like you're flying in space, you're flying on the land, you're shooting you're like, the gunplay looks compelling and interesting, and one thing led to another. I looked at their Facebook page. I scrolled down looking at just all the memes and, quite frankly, the shit posting that they be doing, which I respect. I'm like, if the developer, the one developer making this game, interacts with his community, I mean, that's a decent meme there. So so I'm like, okay, how much does it cost to buy into the alpha? Because I'm like, the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, this is basically like I'm spending $30 on a Kickstarter, and then I get to play the game as it gets developed, which is fine. I might take it off, play it for a little bit, take some time off, and then come back 6 months from now and play it again, see what's changed. Hopefully a lot, especially if they say they do development updates every 2 weeks. And then I went to their page and I saw, like, just a decent website. I, as a web developer, respect it. And then you have different options. You can buy all three of these will give you access to the game forever, and you can see it. And they have like other things like other hovercrafts and stuff, like just extra cosmetic things that don't really necessarily change anything in game. Maybe some like characters on your sanctuary ship or whatever. I don't know. So fine by me. Like, I'm like, okay, so the way I looked at this, I'm like, I'm either buying into a game that will be interesting, and I'll see it grow, and I'll be happy with my purchase a few months from now to a year from now, or B, this will be a shit tier game and I get to make a video crapping all over it. Either way is a win-win for me. So I pay $30. I sign up for their account. I get my activation code. I sign up for a second account for some reason, and I hop into the game. And so when I get into the game and I start playing, the gameplay is, this is one of their conquest maps you see on the screen right now. It feels good to play. It feels good to control. I have a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, so it's not the worst in the world. I had a little bit of stuttering, especially when the map was first loading up. They had another map which had 1,000 AIs on it that was not great. That felt more fun, but it was a little less stable. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I see where they're going with this, and it has the capacity to be good. I think. Is it worth $30? I do not think so. Um, that being said, you know, I look at their Steam page, and it says that they have a planned release date of Q4 2021, and I look at that and I think, I don't think that this game can have, like, for this game to succeed, it needs a strong core gameplay. But, the way he's funding his game, like people buying into it initially through the alpha, means that on release, he's not going to have as much of a flow because he's got all the people who have been, and it goes full price, like he's not going to have the same amount of people. And I will say this, though. I don't like. I paid $30 for this. This was a quote a 33% discount on what it would normally cost. I don't think I want to pay 45. I don't think I would want to pay $40 for this game. I didn't, if it unless it has like some significant upgrades. But this is compelling. Like, this is one person working on a game. He's like, I don't think that I'm going to. I'll be able to get through all of the hell that is just getting through the Kickstarter algorithm. And he starts building a social media presence on Facebook and other social media platforms, and taking some of the money and using it as ad revenue. And as far as I'm concerned, one of his ads got me to give it a shot, and I didn't mind it. I think the gunplay and the gameplay of you controlling the character itself is actually fairly fun and compelling, and it's got some work to do, but other than that, I think it's pretty cool. I digress. The one thing I will say, though, is this. If you're planning on funding your business, and you're planning on doing something to get capital, especially quickly, like, and you don't have things like banks as an option, this one right here is a fairly decent idea. I encourage it. It might even very well be a good way for you to start building more capital and get everything you need to run your business correctly. The one key thing about this is this: you have you have to do this. You have to make sure that you are not making your product appear better than it actually is. You want people to invest in the idea and the vision you have for it. I will say this, that sometimes, like, I'm looking at his ads, they come off a little bit hacky. Yes, the visuals are impressive, and yes, and yes, it technically has these things, but I wouldn't necessarily say it has all of, like, it's perfect, but I digress. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you sitting through another episode of BIYB. Check out these two links right here for our Coinbase affiliate link and our Lollipop link. Cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, just shot up in value, so get on it now while you still can. And over here you can join our Patreon, and over here is a link to one of my friends' channels, and you can go check them out. We'll see you guys in the next episode of BIYB, and I'll see you guys next week.
Poggers.